They say ink on paper can't hurt you. But what if a single panel in a forgotten manga sent chills so deep it was banned across Japan and quietly erased from history? This isn't some internet creepypasta or made-up urban legend. This really happened. A manga serialized in the early 2000s was abruptly cancelled, pulled from shelves, and never reprinted. And all because of one panel. A panel some call cursed, others call prophetic, and many believe should have never been drawn in the first place. But let's rewind. The manga in question wasn't originally controversial. In fact, it was gaining a loyal fan base. Titled Yamio no Kodomo, or Children of the Dark Night. It followed a group of middle school kids who discover an abandoned town hidden in the mountains, one that doesn't appear on any map. At first, the series played out like a supernatural thriller, strange creatures, forgotten rituals, echoes of war. It was eerie, but not terrifying, until Volume 3 dropped, and everything changed. It was in Chapter 26, a seemingly normal chapter titled The Girl by the Bell Tower. But when fans reached the final page, they were stunned. The panel showed a young girl with hollow black eyes staring directly at the reader. Behind her, something was scrawled in blood, in a language no one could read. But here's the chilling part. Shortly after this chapter was published, readers began reporting strange experiences. Emails, forums, messages. One reader claimed his nose started bleeding while reading the panel. Another said their phone camera froze while trying to photograph it. A bookstore employee in Osaka fainted after seeing the page while sorting returns. And then, a week later, a Tokyo-based manga review blogger who harshly criticized the chapter suddenly went missing. Coincidence? Maybe. But what happened next only added fuel to the fire. The manga's publisher, a mid-tier company known for dark and psychological titles, issued a statement saying the series was continent indefinite hiatus due to creative issues. But insiders leaked that the actual reason was far more disturbing. According to an anonymous editor, the manga's creator Kaoru Mitsuki had stopped answering calls. When a team was sent to his apartment, they found his studio abandoned. His tools were scattered. Manuscript pages were shredded, and taped to the wall, written in messy ink, were the same strange symbols from the cursed panel. Kaoru was never seen again. Fans tried to piece the story together, digging through interviews and old convention footage. One unsettling clip from a 2002 fan Q&A shows Kaoru saying, "The images come to me in dreams. I don't draw them, I just remember them." Some believed the panel wasn't fiction, that it wasn't meant to be drawn, it was summoned. Soon after, Japanese authorities issued a quiet recall of the third volume. It was never officially banned, but bookstores received private notices. Return all copies, remove from shelves, destroy remaining stock. Collectors who tried to sell the manga online were reportedly contacted by lawyers. Listings vanished. Accounts were locked. Some even reported receiving threatening emails written in the same untranslatable symbols. But as always, nothing stays buried on the internet forever. Years later, a blurry scan of the cursed panel resurfaced on a deep web horror forum. The thread title, "Have you seen her eyes?" Only one comment was visible. It read, "She watches through paper." Now, whether this was all viral fiction or something darker, we still don't know. But here's what can't be denied. 1. The manga existed. Old Japanese magazine scans prove Yamio no Kodomo ran for exactly 25 chapters, then stopped. 2. 2, Kaoru Mitsuki, was real. He had 2 prior published works, both minor psychological horror stories, but after Children of the Dark Night, he completely vanished. 3. No physical copy of Volume 3 has been publicly seen since 2004. Even Japan's National Diet Library, which archives nearly everything, has a listing for Volumes 1 and 2, but Volume 3 is marked as not available. So what exactly was in that panel? The scan that resurfaced online is blurry and partially redacted, but from what remains, the girl's face looks wrong. The eyes are too deep. The expression is blank, yet somehow threatening. Some people who've seen it say it doesn't even feel like manga art. It feels like a photo. One user who tried to enhance the image claimed there were hidden faces in the shadows. Others believe there's a message encoded in the blood symbols, but no linguist or cryptographer has ever been able to crack it. A few years ago, a YouTuber attempted to recreate the panel for a horror series. Within days, his video was taken down due to graphic and disturbing content, even though nothing explicit was shown. In a now-deleted follow-up post, the YouTuber claimed he was contacted by someone using Kaoru Mitsuki's name, who told him to stop imitating what he never finished. That's the thing. No one knows if the story was ever completed. Some believe the panel was meant to summon something, and Kaoru succeeded. Others think the manga was his own way of documenting a haunting he experienced firsthand. There's also a darker theory, one that says we were never supposed to see the panel, that Kaoru wasn't warning us. He was opening a door, and now anyone who's ever viewed the panel has become part of the story. So where does that leave us? In Japan, Yamio no Kodomo has become something of a myth, a ghost manga. Newer fans think it's fake. Older collectors whisper about it at conventions. But none of them are willing to show proof they still own a copy. No reprints, no digital versions, not even pirated scans. Just that one cursed image floating around the internet like a virus, pixelated, half lost, but watching. Some say if you stare at the girl's eyes long enough, you'll start to hear a bell ringing. Others say your dreams change, and she shows up behind you, just watching, always watching. Whether it was an elaborate hoax, a supernatural glitch in manga history, or a forgotten genius descending into madness, the story of the hidden cursed panel remains one of the darkest corners of Japan's manga world. And if you're curious enough to search for that panel, just remember, some images aren't meant to be seen, some stories aren't meant to be finished, and some manga aren't meant to be read at all.